بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
Necessity. Necessity الضرورة. الضرورة in the present and in the past and in the future. الضرورة في المضارع present in the past في الماضي and in the future في المستقبل. Number one, we have necessity in the present. الضرورة في المضارع. We can say it's necessary for plus 2 plus infinitive. يبقى it's necessary for يجي وراها 2 plus the infinitive. For example, it's necessary for you to wear a helmet. يبقى من الضروري أن ترتدي خوذة. So for you to wear 2 plus the infinitive اللي هي wear. So it's necessary for plus 2 plus infinitive. Another way, طريقة تانية عشان أعبر بيها عن الضرورة في present, we can say have or has to plus the infinitive. Has to or have to plus the infinitive. For example, you have to wear a helmet when you drive a motorbike. So you have to wear. He has to wear a helmet when he drives a bike. So number one, we have it's necessary for plus 2 plus infinitive. Another way, have or has plus 2 plus the infinitive. Have to, has to plus the infinitive. Number three, we can say need or needs to plus the infinitive. Need طبعا ديت مع plural subject مع الفاعل الجمع زي you, we, they و I. طب needs مع ايه؟ needs مع he or she or it. يبقى need to plus the infinitive. Need to plus the infinitive. You need to wear a helmet when you drive a motorbike. You need to wear a helmet when you drive a motorbike. So in the present, necessity in the present يبقى الضرورة في المضارع we have three ways. Number one, أول طريقة it's necessary for to plus the infinitive. You have to or has to plus the infinitive. You need to plus the infinitive. Need to plus the infinitive. Necessity in the past. In the past بستخدم it was necessary to plus the infinitive. يبقى الفرق بين البريزنت والباست، في البريزنت كنت بستخدم it's necessary for to plus the infinitive it is، لكن في الباست هتبقى it was necessary for وبعد كده هجيب to plus the infinitive. So it was necessary for them to leave early، يعني كان من الضروري لهم ان هم يغادروا مبكرا. طيب في البريزنت كنت بستخدم have to plus the infinitive او has to plus the infinitive. يبقى في الباست هستخدم الباست من كلمة have to و has to had to، يبقى had to plus the infinitive. So when we say they had to leave early in order to miss the train, in order not to miss the train عشان ما يفقدوش القطار. They had to leave. Had to plus the infinitive يبقى had to leave. طب يبقى ايه الفرق بين البريزنت والباست؟ في الباست بستخدم it was necessary for plus to زائد infinitive. كان البريزنت بتاعها it is necessary for to plus the infinitive. في الباست بستخدم had to plus the infinitive. في البريزنت بستخدم have to و has to plus the infinitive. So let's move to another point which is necessary in or necessity in the future. الضرورة، التعبير عن الضرورة في الفيوتشر في المستقبل. في المستقبل هستخدم it will be necessary for plus 2 plus the infinitive. It will be. في البريزنت كانت it is necessary. في الباست كانت it was necessary. في الفيوتشر هتبقى it will be necessary for علي or for أحمد or for him to plus the infinitive. When we say it will be necessary for you to show your passport، من الضروري ان انت توري، هيبقى من الضروري ان انت تظهر الباسبور بتاعك. طيب ايه الفيوتشر من كلمة have to و has to plus the infinitive؟ الفيوتشر من have to و has to will have to plus the infinitive. You will have to show your passport to the officer at the airport. يبقى will have to plus the infinitive. Will have to show هي الانفينيتيف. Let's feedback. يبقى necessity الضرورة أو التعبير عن الضرورة بثلاث طرق اللي هي البريزنت والباست والفيوتشر. في البريزنت بستخدم it's necessary for وبعد كده to plus the infinitive. have to و has to plus the infinitive. need to plus the infinitive. Necessity in the past هستخدم it was necessary plus to plus the infinitive. had to plus the infinitive. In the future we can say it will be necessary for بعدها to plus the infinitive أو will have to plus the infinitive. will have to plus the infinitive. lack of necessity غياب الضرورة أو عدم الضرورة أو حاجة مش ضرورية. lack of necessity. In the present طبعا it is not necessary. It isn't necessary for plus to that الانفينيتيف. It isn't necessary ليس من الضروري. It isn't necessary for علي to. So when we say she isn't late for school مش متأخرة عن المدرسة so it isn't necessary for her to hurry. It isn't necessary ما فيش داعي ليها أو ليس من الضروري ليها إن هي تسرع. It is not necessary for her to hurry. So what is the negative؟ ايه النفي بتاع have to has to plus infinitive؟ يبقى don't have to plus the infinitive or doesn't have to plus infinitive. don't or doesn't اجيب بعدها have to plus infinitive عشان اعبر عن lack of necessity. lack of necessity عدم الضرورة. For example when we say she isn't late for school مش متأخرة عن المدرسة so she doesn't have to hurry. she doesn't have to hurry. don't or doesn't need to. need to يبقى don't need to plus infinitive or doesn't need to plus the infinitive. She isn't late for school so she doesn't need to hurry. she doesn't need to hurry ما فيش داعي ان هي تسرع. she doesn't need to hurry. needn't plus infinitive ممكن استخدم بطريقة تانية كلمة needn't plus infinitive. needn't يعني مش محتاج ان هي تسرع. she needn't plus the infinitive. So when we say she isn't late for school so she needn't hurry مفيش داعي ان هي تسرع. she needn't hurry. يبقى lack of necessity عدم الضرورة. in the present we use 4 ways 4 طرق. Number 1 we can say it isn't necessary for plus 2 plus infinitive. don't have to or doesn't have to plus the infinitive. don't need to or doesn't need to plus the infinitive. needn't plus the infinitive. needn't يعني ما فيش داعي so she isn't late for school so she needn't hurry. she needn't hurry ما فيش داعي ان هي تسرع. lack of necessity in the past. lack يعني عدم الضرورة في الباست في الماضي. So here it wasn't necessary for plus 2 plus infinitive. It wasn't necessary for him to buy a new mobile phone. So it wasn't necessary يعني ما كانش ضروري ان هو يشتري موبايل. So it wasn't necessary for plus 2 plus the infinitive. طيب ايه الباست بتاع don't have to و doesn't have to؟ يبقى didn't have to. يبقى lack of necessity in the past هيبقى didn't have to plus the infinitive. didn't have to plus the infinitive. For example when we say he didn't have to buy a new mobile phone. he didn't have to buy. didn't have to plus the infinitive. الانفينيتيف هنا هيبقى buy. So he didn't have to buy a new mobile phone. دي معناها ايه؟ معناها he didn't buy a new mobile phone. ما اشتراش new mobile phone. Number 3 we can say needn't have plus the past participle. needn't have plus the past participle. he needn't have bought. يبقى needn't have هيجي وراها تصريف ثالث. لم يكن ضروريا وقام بالفعل. تمام يعني عمل الحاجة. so he needn't have bought ما كانش فيه داعي ان هو يشتري. معنى كده ان هو اشترى الموبايل فعلا. so he needn't have bought a new mobile phone. he bought the new mobile phone. ان هو اشترى فعلا هنا في الحالة ديت اشترى الموبايل. he needn't have هيجي وراها past participle التصريف الثالث. Number 4 we can say didn't need to plus the infinitive. didn't need to plus the infinitive. لم يكن مضطرا والفعل قد يكون تم أو لا. يبقى في الحالة ديت لو أنا استخدمت didn't need to plus infinitive ممكن يكون الحدث ده اتعمل وما اتعملش. For example he didn't need to buy a new mobile phone. he didn't need to buy a mobile phone. ما كانش محتاج ان هو يشتري موبايل فون. ممكن يكون اشترى وممكن ما يكونش اشترى. So he might or he might not buy a new mobile phone. he might or he might not buy a new mobile phone. So lack of necessity in the past يعني عدم الضرورة في الماضي هستخدم 4 حاجات. Number 1 it wasn't necessary for plus 2 plus infinitive. Number 2 didn't have to plus the infinitive. Number 3 needn't have plus the past participle. didn't need to plus the infinitive. In the future we can say التعبير عن lack of necessity in the future يعني عدم الضرورة في الفيوتشر في المستقبل. It won't be necessary. It won't يعني ال abbreviated form for will not. It will not be necessary for علي to plus the infinitive. It won't be necessary for to plus the infinitive. It won't be necessary for علي to attend the party next week. So attend يحضر الحفلة next week. مش هيبقى في داعي أو ضرورة لعلي إن هو يحضر الحفلة next week الأسبوع اللي جاي. So it won't be necessary for Ali to attend the party next week. Another way we can say won't have to plus the infinitive. Ali won't have to attend the party next week. Won't need to plus the infinitive. Won't need to plus the infinitive. Ali won't need to attend the party next week. So this is about the necessity الضرورة طبعا in the present, in the past and in the future. Lack of necessity يعني عدم الضرورة in the present, in the past and in the future.